have a plan. I'm just not sure if it's a good plan. And it involves this bag of Lego that has been hidden in a box since we were at our old house and we had the original Lego City in there. And this bag contains a whole bunch of these plates. These are the little 16 by 16 stud, nice and thick plates that are used mainly for the art sets. You put a bunch of them together and put a little mosaic deal on them, and they joined together with Technic pins. And the reason I have all of these, I've got like 20 of them, I bought them to build a little boardwalk and a pier in the seaside area of the original Lego City. And literally, as I set them up in the Lego City, we got notification we had to leave that house. I packed it all away and haven't really thought about them or the seaside area since. We're still not thinking about the seaside area, but I am thinking about this area. Specifically this corner, where the idea is the Lion Knight's castle is going to sit on top of the train on that corner on a little hill, and we'll get Castle Hill back like we had before. And I'm thinking we could maybe raise it up using these. If we were to put a whole bunch of them linked together and then raise them up on some Lego, we could create a big enough raised corner to be able to fit it on and fit trains underneath it. And if it works, potentially extend it down this way a little bit and give ourselves an area to solve another problem that I've been struggling with over the last week or so, because I'm not entirely happy, believe it or not, I'm not entirely happy with the new layout. Specifically, I don't like Diagon Alley being hidden. I get the concept of Diagon Alley is that it's an alley and it's hidden in Harry Potter. It's supposed to be hidden, but it's a £400 Lego set. I didn't spend £400 on it to hide it away and never see it. I want it actually on display. So I think we're going to ignore the fact that it's supposed to be an alley, and I want to get it out from in this little hidden area and get it over that way. And what I'm actually thinking, we could kill 2, potentially 3 birds with one stone if the idea that I've got works. And that idea being, get the castle raised up on that corner and then extend down at least another 3 base plates that way to give us room to fit the loop coaster on top of there as well, and have the loop coaster also up above the train track. Not even necessarily right next to the Lion Knight's castle. We could maybe do that a little bit further along, somewhere along here. But the loop coaster basically is 3 base plates long, 1 base plate wide. So at any point along this long stretch of track, we could raise up again, have 3 base plates worth of length and put the loop coaster on that, so that we don't have to find a massive space for it within the city. We can reuse some area that we've already used for train track on this side of the city that we don't really see, because remember, the viewing angle of the Lego City is basically this corner. So anything that's on that far side, low down behind that row of buildings, we can't see anyway. We can't see the trains there because they're hidden by the buildings. So if we were to raise up a little bit, and I'm not thinking of going all the way back to all of the wood and everything, but if we were to go up enough to fit the trains underneath and put the loop coaster on top and potentially put the haunted house on top, and maybe maybe a couple of the other fairground rides, the Ferris wheel, or maybe we'll get the proper big Ferris wheel and have like a row along the back there. Yeah, if you come and look at it from here, it's not going to make much sense that we're like, why is there just a really long bridge with a fair on top of it? But we're almost never going to view it from there. We're going to view it from here, where it will look like, oh, we've got a city, and then behind the city there's a fairground that we can see the top 2/3 of popping up over the row of buildings, and I think it will look cool. So I don't have enough of these to do all of that in one go, but I think I should have enough to be able to raise up the Lion Knight's castle. And if that works, I consider that a proof of concept. And then when we hit double points next week, we can buy a bunch of these on Lego Pick-a-Brick on double points and get enough to maybe even fill in the entire length all the way up there and have a load of stuff raised up on the back, which in turn frees up a little bit more space in here. I'm getting rid of the little Legoland fairground. A few of you have said it, I've been thinking it just is too play scale and kiddified to go in with the rest of the city. So as much as I think it's cool, I think a lot of that stuff is probably going to go home and go in a display somewhere in our Lego room and not become part of the city. And we are going to focus on the big fairground collection rides like the Haunted House, like the Loop Coaster, as our actual theme park rides for the city. Obviously this middle bit is where we're going to have the Halloween setup, which I have built the ship and left it at home. I forgot to bring it with me. The seaside stuff is going to be here, but if we're moving diagonally, I remember what I was saying now, if we've got this as a raised platform up there sort of thing, we can then have diagonally in front of it and kind of backing onto it. That's how it kills two birds with one stone, because we move diagonally down here. And if we do that, then I think we need to do a bit of a rearrangement up here and basically eliminate the gap. So we pull diagonally out, we move that row of buildings back and then put in another row of buildings across there. And it allows us to fit the remaining modulars, like we've got a few modular buildings up this end that don't fit behind or inside that inner loop. They can then all fit inside the inner loop. And this front end, we can avoid as much as possible having modular buildings in and focus more on the cool display stuff, the seaside, the Lion Knight's Castle, the amusement park, and then some of the cooler pop culture type buildings. Like we might leave Arkham Asylum down this way, we might leave the X-Mansion down this way, we'll probably leave Botanical Gardens down this way and have this as a proper downtown city area and this as the other bit. And obviously that's where the Winter Village will go as well once Halloween is over. So I guess after all of that waffling, the job now is to work out if this will actually work. Will these actually support the weight of that? And there's only one way to find out. And if they don't, my favourite Lego set ever will be in pieces in just a few minutes. So I guess it's experiment time. Of course, in order to do that, I need a load of Technic pins to join these together. And that is one thing I don't have a big stock of in one place. So I think I need to go scavenging in the big box. And I never like to go in the big box. The big box. There'll be some in here, that's for sure. Yeah, but there weren't enough, so cue me having to kind of faff around and try and work with what I've got and basically do half a job, which is not ideal. Also not ideal, I would like to apologise for the fact you could hear the music so clearly in that first part of the video. I accidentally, when I was trying to format my SD card on my camera, accidentally reset the camera to factory settings, which turned off the noise cancellation on the microphone. But I did figure it out eventually and do turn it back on. But you can see I am very much building without a plan, which is something I've not done in forever. Sometimes you just got to build without a plan and let your creativity flow a little bit. I don't know if this is a good idea or a terrible idea. We're making some progress. I've run out of Technic pins, at least that I could easily find. So we need to have at least one more row, probably two more rows. We have got still a bunch more of these to go on, but I'm just not sure how sturdy this is going to be. If we have a look at the construction of it, you can see everywhere I can put a pillar of brick. I have put a pillar of brick. I'm actually running low on my 2x3 and 2x4 bricks now as well, and using a lot of grey. I acknowledge I'm using a lot of grey that could certainly serve other purposes in the city, which is also not ideal. But I mean, there's not much support. This whole plate here is only supported just there by four studs and then by the Technic pins. So you can see there's a little bit of bend on that one. The ones that are fully supported, I mean, that is rock solid. This one at the back here is rock solid. But how sturdy is it going to be? Like I say, with one of my most expensive, one of my favourite sets ever on top of it. The reason I'm not able to support underneath each pillar is to make sure that we can fit the train under. So throughout the process, I have been feeding the train underneath, making sure we don't have any collisions, which we don't. It fits under fine. We have plenty of clearance. We don't actually have enough clearance on top of that to fit a camera on top, which I'm just realising. So we'd have to fashion the camera to the front of the train when we do our POV shots. Maybe the driver can hold it. I don't know that it's worth raising the whole thing up even higher just to fit the camera in, because if we do that, I mean, we're already almost at the height where I may as well get the wood and the furniture legs back out again. But I don't have any wood this narrow. All my wood is a minimum of 2 base plates deep. So we'd have to do some cutting and I don't really want to do any cutting, and I certainly don't want to buy any more pre-cut wood. So I think building it with Lego is the way. I just don't know if this is the way, or whether we just actually buy a load of used Duplo and literally build it up so it's supported all the way underneath. That might even be more sensible. I don't know what to do. What I need to do is Google the weight of the Lion Knight's castle and then find something that's that kind of weight and put it on there and leave it there for a few days while I go home and go about my own business, and the people the other side of this wall are lifting the shutter up and down, and there's movement and people walking past in the corridor, and if I come back and it's not moved, then we know it's sturdy. If we come back and my kettlebell is on the floor, then at least it wasn't the Lion Knight's castle, I guess. But yeah, we're getting there. I'm just still not sure. I now need to rummage for more Technic pins, or else we literally can't go any further. We're also running out of brick, so I don't know if this job is going to be completely finished today anyway. What I might do, probably the sensible thing to do, is to leave this bit here, ask you for your opinions down in the comments, and I'll go and get on with moving some modulars around, because you lot will set me right. You will tell me if this is a good idea or a bad idea. We're learning together as part of this Lego city. So before I spend any more time on it and start disassembling stuff to find bricks and pins, is this a good idea or a terrible idea? Let me know in the comments. Before I do that though, I've just had a potential idea to give a little bit more support to this one that doesn't really have any support. We could use some plate to just join them together underneath the way you would on an art set. So use something like that underneath here. So we could kind of go in here where they join together, which I'm doing completely blind and hoping we're in roughly the right spot. We might have to take the whole thing off to be able to do it. But what I'm thinking is, in there, we get a plate in to hold it together a bit more. That might be the play. And I suspect anybody who builds more art sets than I do was screaming at me during the first part of the video that this is what you do with these. And I'm sure Anna will give me the exact same feedback when she sees this video, because she does build a lot of the art sets. But I don't know what I was thinking it could just be the pins that holds it together. This is a much better plan. I mean, I don't mind saying it because then you're not going to have to say it for me, but I think I might be a genius. Look at this. I don't know why it took me this long to figure it out, but look how sturdy that is now. Now that we've got missing plate, but now that we've got plate connecting it all together underneath as well, and it's not just held together by Technic pins. If I'd have built a few more art sets or paid a bit more attention while Anna was doing it, I'd have figured that out much sooner. Some of these bits, oh my word, they're all falling off. Maybe this doesn't grip the studs as well as it could. It's all official Lego. This is all from Lego Pick-a-Brick, so it should be gripping. But I've put an extra strip on. What on earth? Why are they all falling off? Maybe I'm not a genius. Right, ultimately, let's try and get it back on. And if it works, we'll go back to me being a genius again. Oh my goodness, everything's falling off it. Why are you not gripping, you stupid idiots? Yeah, that's right. I'm not afraid to call you out. Every time I turn it over, they fall out. And I don't really know why. This seemed like such a good idea. No, there goes some more. This whole plan might be getting abandoned. This is giving me flashbacks to when I built the Batman Gotham City skyline, trying to put it on the wall and just having bits fall off it constantly. It just doesn't seem to have the grip that normal Lego bricks have, which I am a little bit fascinated by. I just want to turn it over once and have nothing fall off it. But it genuinely doesn't seem possible, and it's not the same piece every time, which is fascinating. Right, can we get you on? Because I think if we get it connected, I think it's going to work. But that's the big if, isn't it? We might have done it. There goes a piece. Annoyingly, a piece that should have been, so that's there, I think. Trying to do this blind and backwards is not easy. There you go, that's back in. Now, obviously, we don't have supports under this edge yet, but it shows just how sturdy it is. It almost feels like we don't need them. Obviously, we will put them in, but that is so much stronger than it was. We're going to be brave. We're only going to put half on. I mean, that holds it absolutely fine, even without the front on. It needs to be a bit bigger still, and I really have run out of parts this time. I managed to find a few more Technic pins to get the extra strip on, but we need another strip. We can get the train through as well without it hitting anything. I think, unless you lot are going to give me a good reason why I'm an idiot, I think this is how we're going to do Castle Hill. Am I an idiot? Or is that going to work? I'm just going to get the extra supports in. That isn't straight. That one's not in. That's not connected. There you go. So we'll get some supports in at the front as well, if we've got enough bricks. And obviously we are going to have to take it off again when we put the final strip on. But in fact, by doing it this way, we also have the flexibility to, obviously we'll have another strip on to make sure it's big enough, but you could then have different shapes and it doesn't have to be completely rectangular or square or whatever it ends up being. It could even be a little bit more irregular and hill shaped on top. And then once we've got it on, we'll need to use some grey brick and some arches to get some little train tunnel arches in. And then we've got all of these bricks that we can use to build around like that. You get the idea. And mounting it up. I've made an incredible mess in this room. Look at the mess I've made. I mean, there is literally trays everywhere, slipping, falling, Lego everywhere. But I think this is our Castle Hill solution. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to tidy up and go and sleep on it. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for loads more Lego content. And thank you very much for watching.